crazy, go crazy, crazy, no crazy, no crazy, no crazy,
Good afternoon, my name is Shonen, and yes, I finally took a break from listening to this Kendrick album to get this review out, so let's just jump right into it with My Hero 352. The chapter starts off with a flashback, kind of giving us some insight into Shoto's new move and why he looks like Endeavor or uniformed Endeavor. So I don't know, it's pretty cool. I like the fact that we got Midoriya. It's always fun to see the studious Midoriya, or just like the geeking out Midoriya. Shoto says that he's going to go in the opposite direction of his father, because even though the relationship is somewhat healed at this point in time, he still wants to work in spite of him, or maybe this is because he thinks this is the more efficient route to use both fire and ice. But yeah, instead of going as hot as possible and then using the cold or using his ice to kind of keep his body temperature at a regulated level, he's like, no, I'm just gonna make cold fire. So I don't know, it sounds really weird, but we get a couple of moves from him now because of it. I think this makes it like three new moves we've seen from Shoto this fight, so that's really cool. It's great that we also get a callback to the whole "this is your power" thing, and then goes on to use that power of his to basically try to put his brother to rest. The Pale Blade technique kind of reminds me of Marco the Phoenix from One Piece, because it's just like we had the whole Ice Oni scenario, and then he came and started putting people on fire, but it was like warm fire, not scorching hot burning fire. So I don't know if that has any connection at all. I can't wait to see how it looks colored though. Even though it's kind of cheeky, I like the fact that Dabi sort of not compliments but recognizes how much of a match Shoto is for this fight. So it's kind of cool. And then he goes on to just be like, yo, we are the peak of human evolution type of thing. And then he's like, but this town's only big enough for one of us, so you gotta go. Some of the hero extras pop in to, I guess, defend Shoto, or I don't know if Dabi just decided to aim at them, but it seems like, yeah, they stood in the way to help him out, even though clearly Shoto has the body that can withstand this, the only body on the field that can withstand this heat. So I kind of found that confusing. Either way though, it leads us into another bit of a inner monologue where Shoto builds up his I guess courage or his strength for the final attack of the chapter. I know basically it's just white and black shading. It's like not really the double page spreads that we are used to seeing, like detailed ones in shonen that people go on and on about forever, like an example, but still very pretty, I think. And then speaking of pretty, we get this beautiful this final 2 pages that it's another spread, but like the right half is Shoto and Dabi as children, but like they're in the same they're in the same position that they're in the left side of the page, right? It's just, I don't know, it's you can see what I mean, but it's really amazing. And we have this whole ice covered city. I feel like whether or not this is the end of the fight is up in the air. Thematically it feels like it's over, and just because we have the side heroes out of the way and this is made into a 1v1, it should be done. We've gotten enough flashback, we've gotten enough banter between the two, and Dabi's already revealed himself to be like, I'm gonna burn out during this fight. I feel like we haven't seen that part though. I thought that maybe Dabi would be, sort of end the fight just burning himself to a crisp, but hey, if it's over and the way that this ended is Shoto saving his brother by just burying him in ice to make sure he didn't burn himself out, then that also works for me too. I don't really think anyone should complain about that. I'm not too sure what the My Hero fandom does complain about, but yeah, I wouldn't find anything wrong with this. I think the only anticlimactic part about it would be that we didn't get a final move from Dabi himself. I mean, we got a lot of moves, well, not named attacks, but we got a lot of big explosive moves. But I guess people would just want to see, again, if it's a traditional shonen fight, we'd want to see the final clash, both of their moves just kind of tapping into each other and then doing their thing. Speaking of final moves, let's get into One Piece 1049. Niji and Yonji are for some reason free now. I'm not too sure. I don't really care right now. I'm waiting for this cover story to kind of build up, and you know, we're getting the necessary pieces for that right now, but I want to see where it ends. That's really the only thing I care about. So this final attack, which has lasted 3 chapters now. People are pissed off about this. I know this because I'm an empath. People are really pissed off that we got a sort of half a chapter flashback for Kaido, because everyone was kind of expecting not a Rocks flashback per se, but you know, we expected to see some lore dump with Kaido's flashback, not just, oh, here's the quick you know, abridged version of Kaido's story real quick. I don't know. I think what we got out of Kaido was pretty cool. We got like flashes. It feels like every panel that you see Kaido's face, he's a little bit older and older and older until we finally see him grow up, which is, I don't know. I think that's a cool progression. Like if we're going with the idea that this is a really quick flashback, it feels, you know, it feels like there was not a theme, but like a consistent thing going on with every page to, like, you know, just show Kaido continuously getting stronger and stronger over the years, and then it ends with him going, "Hey, yeah, that Joy Boy guy, I know when we'll see him." And then the chapter ends with, you know, the answer to what that means, which is, yeah, the Joy Boy who pops up is gonna be the guy who beats me. And I don't know. I think, yeah, we could have gotten more. I think Oda definitely wants to keep Rocks on the low for as long as possible. And this is maybe, I think the reason why we didn't get such a lore dump, why we didn't get, like, you know, the Rocks flashback with Kaido's flashback, is because that's going to be saved for maybe Shanks to explain or someone else. Because, I mean, why would you put Rocks in this, right? And be like, here's Rocks in a tiny little, you know, panel again, and then be like, we're going to God Valley, and then not show anything. You know, the only reason to do that is because you've got more in store. You have a different place that you want to dump all that lore in. I think it's funny that Kaido was almost enlisted in the Navy, or they attempted to put him in the Navy, because I don't know, it just feels like that's what Luffy is. like whoever did this to him or tried to do this to him is like his garp of just like, no. You're powerful, just join the Navy, help people out. I really thoroughly enjoyed that, but not as much as, you know, we getting at least one mystery solved, right? Which is, how the hell did Kaido get captured so many times? And we get the answer to that, which is because he wanted to. He needed to eat, so he would get captured so he can get food for free, which is the wildest thing. This like has to be the end of the fight, right? People are really speculating that this is not the end. Kaido's gonna get back up, but I don't know. I feel like with all the wrap up that we've gotten in recent chapters, and then even in this one, just getting at least giving everyone at least a panel, right? And just going through everything and just be like, look, here's where everyone's at. Here's everyone reacting to the final clash. It has to be over. There's like nothing left to resolve. If, you know, if this happens to just not be over and Kaido's like, I'm coming back in for the awakening, then I mean, I just don't understand what everyone else would do, right? Like there would have to be new characters and new things introduced to kind of give us like a B plot, right? Like a B story, whatever the hell that's called. I didn't really appreciate the Hiyori part of the chapter last week, because, you know, it's like, damn, she got saved, but a couple of the reviewers brought up the fact that this is kind of a parallel or the reverse of how we got Denjiro's introduction, which is like Hiyori being killed to protect Orochi, killed, and now we have Orochi killed to protect Hiyori, which is, I don't know, pretty cool. That made me appreciate it a little bit more, although, I don't know, I felt like every time we saw Hiyori, my thought or my initial reaction was always like, how long is this going to last? Are we going to get back to Luffy versus Kaido? I need this right now. Shout out to Momonosuke, because it seems like that lantern thing was just a red herring or just a divert, because he just summons flame clouds right out of his chest, which is cool, right? I mean, he's like, even his reaction to doing it is like, whoa, shit, like I really did it. So shout out to Momonosuke for being able to pull it off without the assist. And then on top of everything, he not only just holds it up, he lets it come down softly. So, and it's like right next to the capital, which is awesome, I think, because we got, I don't know, we got the people of Wano giving their wishes and putting them up in the air, and then as those wishes are going up, Kaido's coming down. I think that's really cool. I don't know. I think yeah, we didn't get the people saw it, right? The people didn't see the final clash happening, which is fucking weird to me, but they didn't see it happening. So they don't see the big bad getting killed or getting defeated and freeing them. Instead, they get to put their wishes up in the air and then look to the right and be like, yo, what the hell is going on over there? Hopefully we get that next chapter. Hopefully, like, the people just we get like a good big reaction. I think it would have been hilarious if instead of saying the Joy Boy who appears as the one who can beat me, Kaido would have been like, Joy Boy is gonna be the guy with the biggest stomach, like, because we finally got Luffy's whole dream, right? I'm assuming this is the dream that everyone's thinking, right? This is the thing that he said that people laughed about, because he says his dream is to have a world where his friends can eat as much as they want. And I think, I said this on Twitter, but it might be backed by the idea that the all blue is the end goal for one of his crewmates. If Sanji wants to be able to get whatever type of food he wants, wherever he wants it at, right? Like if the all blue, if he can get any type of fish and create any type of food, then that kind of goes to support his captain's wish, which is like, yo, why wouldn't Luffy, the guy whose dream it is to have his friends eat all the food he wants or whatever food they want, then why would the captain not be like, yo, word, I'm with that's actually secretly my dream, come join the crew. I did enjoy this chapter, but not on the initial read. I think I kind of felt hollow. Like, I didn't care too much about how this was presented to us. I was more so reading the flashback again with the expectation that we were going to get a long 2-chapter or something like that flashback of Kaido in the rocks, maybe not explaining everything that happened in God Valley, but just kind of like giving us some insight into just how exactly he got his fruit, right? Because we know what happened there. We know that Big Mom gave that to him at God Valley or right after God Valley. So it was like, well, okay, what else can we learn? But we kind of just got the quick Kaido story, which is, I don't know, I enjoyed it. I again, not on the initial read, but that's because I had the expectations. But just like going back and reading it as the next chapter in the series, right? Just the chapter after 1048, what happens next? It was really enjoyable. I'm not gonna lie. It does suck to see Kaido go down without officially using his awakening, but I guess that just kind of supports the theory. If he doesn't come back next chapter, right? Because we have to wait at least 2 weeks to get the answers to that. But I mean, if he doesn't come back up, if he's done, then it kind of just means that not every Zoan fruit has an awakening that is like supposed to be presented. Maybe his awakening was him turning into the dragon or something like that, or his hybrid form, his many transformations in hybrid form. Because again, we kind of go back to when Luffy first transformed and Kaido's like explaining what his awakening is, and he's just like, this transformation is more like a Zoan awakening. So maybe that's what it means to be an awakened Zoan. It just means that you can go into hybrid form or something like that. Because again, we haven't seen any of the other Zoans in his crew awaken, so maybe that's all that means. Let's quickly talk about Jujutsu Kaisen 184 though, because there's not much to talk about, but there's plenty to be entertained by. We got Panda versus Hajime. First of all, I thought Hajime was a chick. No clue. And I learned this chapter that Hajime is actually a dude. So props to TJ, because TJ was telling that shit like last week. And I even looked in the wiki and I was like, I don't care, but I didn't know. So we get Hajime versus Panda, which is the most unexpected thing. I can't believe as soon as we got Hakari versus Charlie, I didn't immediately go, so Panda's also in the same colony. He's clearly going to run into Hajime. I just didn't expect this at all, and neither did Panda, because Panda sees Hajime and is immediately going into Panda mode, and Hajime is just like, did you escape from the zoo? Which means that he has to have been around. Like, he's clearly an ancient sorcerer from at least like 400 years ago, right? So he's been around, but he hasn't been like sealed. He's just been chilling, so he knows about the zoo. But it's like, it's a great thing, and Panda clearly needs to, hopefully he's alive after this, but clearly needs to kind of read the rule book, because Hajime pulls up and is like, yo, what the hell is that? Is that a player? And Kogane's like, yeah, it's a player, go get him. I mean, you definitely know Hajime is an old sorcerer because he gives credit to his opponent in the same way that Sukuna and Kenjaku have given, like, you know, have praised their opponents for, you know, thinking outside the box or something like that. And then goes on to immediately rip this guy a new one. Hajime's all about the goal, though. Get me to Sukuna. Get me to Sukuna. Which makes me think, like, does he want to fight Sukuna because he just wants a really good fight? Do they have a past? Or is there some type of reason that Hajime needs to be with Sukuna? Or, like, is that part of Kenjaku's plan, is to get those two connected? I just felt bad for Panda this chapter because, or I felt bad for Panda's sister, because we finally get her, but it's not like getting the reveal of Rika. But it's a cool transformation, just sucks that nothing happened with it. I hope we get back to the Charlie and Hakari fight next chapter, though, or at least get some, like, I would not mind some roaming around with Hajime, just getting a little bit of, you know, some lore on old sorcerers, and maybe some confirmation that Panda is not dead. But we didn't get, like, the points transferred over, right? Yeah, like, Koganai doesn't say anything about, you know, you getting points or Hajime getting points from this fight, so Panda's definitely not dead. It would suck if that was how Panda went out, though. I mean, I would give Gage credit for that, but it would still hurt. Yeah, it's pretty much it for me. We don't have any One Piece to cover next week because it's on break. Those devilish bastards decided to go on break after this chapter, so gonna be quite the break week for the One Piece community. A lot of toxic videos, I suppose, are going to be made, or at least coping videos are going to be made. As for the other two, I think both are probably going to go into different directions, right? Like, if we're done with the Shoto fight, and, you know, either we go back to Hakari versus Charlie, or we get some time to spend with another player. Either way, you know, we're going to be in different places for both. So looking forward to it. But yeah, that's pretty much me. My name is Shonen. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And, you know, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And yeah, be safe. Bye.